Alright, welcome back to part 2 of Star Trails. This time we are going to show you how to do it in Photoshop and Adobe Bridge. So, as I have started out on this part, I have on my SD card, these are the .cr2 files from a Star Trail, which are the raw files. So over here on this side, I'm going to go ahead and select Camera Raw Image. And that will just select out the CR2s from the JPEGs. So first off, we are going to select the first image, and scroll down, and we're going to find the last image. I'm going to do Shift and click on the last image, then right click, and open in Camera Raw. The advantage of doing Star Trails in Photoshop is that it gives you better control over the final image, and you can correct some of the image colors on the before you stitch it instead of after. So I'm just going to go over here on this side and play with exposure a little bit and contrast. Just kind of see what gives me the best image. You can see our Milky Way is starting to pop out a little bit in there. And you can see as we're playing with that clarity there, you just got to kind of choose what you like. I'm going to kind of go a little bit on the softer side actually. And we're also playing around a little bit with vibrance and contrast and saturation actually. I'm going to take up saturation a little more. I think vibrance is over saturation. Okay, so that's pretty close on how I'm going to have it, because once you put too much contrast in it doesn't look good. And let's take exposure. I'd say exposure about there. Then once you get your colors set on here, you're going to go over to this little triangle tab. And what this does is this decreases noise. On my Canon T3, I shoot at about ISO 800, which has a pretty high noise ratio at this type of image, I guess you could say. Well, you can see how it's kind of grainy and pixelated in here a little bit, and the colors are, it's just kind of grainy is the best I can describe it. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to grab luminance, and we're going to drag it up until that fuzziness and graininess disappears. And it kind of becomes a little more smooth. And you don't want to do it all the way, you just want to get it to where it's smooth enough. So, you can see that came out pretty good, and that makes it a lot less grainy and a lot more smooth of an image. I'm going to go ahead and fit to view. Okay, so that is how our edited image turns out. Now you're probably thinking, okay, I'm going to have to go through and do it to all of these, but actually we lucked out, because you can see we have our good image, and then we have our image that's not edited, and there is a difference. So we're going to select all on this side, and we're going to press synchronize. And we're going to click OK. And what this does is this synchronizes all of our photos for us, so we don't have to go through and do it. Yay! Okay, now we're going to click Done and not Open Images, because if you do that, that loads all of the images into Photoshop as different documents, which is the complete opposite of what we want. And I think I just froze up Bridge. Oh, there it is. Okay. So what we want to do now is we want to go into Tools, Photoshop, Load Files into Photoshop Layers. And now this is where it takes a little bit of a longer time, because this is where it compiles the actual photos into the program. So on startrails.exe that I showed in the previous video, you imported all the photos and it went boom, 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 boom for the photos. But for this one, it's just putting one in at a time, so it's going to take a lot longer. So as you can see, we have our first image loaded, and this is loading just one image right here. Now the reason it takes longer for Photoshop on this part is because it's loading camera raw images, which are a lot larger than JPEGs. While you could do this process with JPEGs, you would not get quite the detail. So while it's loading, I am going to pause this and let it load so you don't have to watch that all. And I will be right back. Okay, we are back now that it's finished compiling. It took about, I don't know, 6 or 7 minutes for a small star trail, but I'm just running on a laptop with an i5 currently, so it doesn't have a dedicated graphics card. If you had a dedicated graphics card, it would go a lot faster. So this is where the magic happens. As you can see, we have all of our photos inserted into here, and we just have to go over here, and where it says normal, you're going to click on that. You're going to click on lighten. Actually, my bad. You're going to click on the first one, scroll all the way down, shift, click on the last one. Then you're going to click lighten. And there you go. You have your star trails. What this did is this changed the blending mode on Photoshop, so it pulled out the lightest part of each photo. And you can see we have just our little cloud of the Milky Way back there. We have a little airplane going that way. We have all our stars going across. We have our, oh, what did I do? I just changed the, there we go. Oop, changed the mode on us again. Just need to get my regular mouse back. Okay. So, as I said, you can see we have all our star trails and stuff. But the other thing that we have right here is a firefly. Saw this about 6 months ago and did not know what it was until the other night when I was actually out here and I saw it flying in front of the camera. And now it made a lot more sense. So, this is basically all you have to do for the star trail, and that's it. So all you have to do now is File, Save As, and you just change that to a JPEG, throw it on the desktop, and click Save. Click OK. And we can minimize it, and where's that? Untitled. There you go. That is your star trail. Now, if you wanted to do more advanced editing to this, you could go back in and do Control-Shift-A. See if I take that back. You would actually have to right-click, merge layers, and then you could do Control-Shift-A, and that would bring up your camera raw filter again. And this would allow us to bring out the shadows of the house a little more, or tone down the stars a little bit. But I don't really like doing that because it kind of degrades the quality of the image since it's in JPEG now, but that's just about all you can do. Once again, thank you for watching this. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more photography how-tos and tips and tricks.